Good morning, children. Today we will take up section 2 of unit 5. And the chapter's name is Easily Distracted. Easily distracted. Moment I say distracted. What does this mean? This means we are losing our attention. We are losing our focus. This talks about a boy, Harsh, and he is in a habit to easily get distracted. Yes. In green lines, what it is said? What happens to a boy who is always distracted? Will he be able to play games? Let us find out. All Harsha Rao's report cards carried the same words in the remarks. There was a boy, Harsh Rao, and all the report cards, what did they say in remarks section? They said something common. In class 1, the teacher had written good but easily distracted. In class 2, the teacher has written brilliant with numbers but easily distracted. What was something common? Teachers were writing that he is easily getting distracted. But when his mother met the teacher at the end of the year, she was shown his workbook. And what she saw, that first few sums on each page were completed, and that too very neatly and correctly. But the moment distraction started for this boy, what he did, he colored the shapes instead of measuring them, right? And at times he used to add faces to the numbers instead of multiplying them. That was happening because of distraction. Well, Harsh was in class 7 now, and things hadn't changed. What hadn't changed? His distraction. Okay? His mother never sent him to the shop in an emergency because he was sure to forget the eggs that she had asked for and get distracted by a game of marbles going on by the roadside. His mother used to send him to get the eggs, and he always gets busy with the games of marbles, which some children, you can say, must be playing on the roadside. And he used to always forget to get the eggs back home. She hadn't forgotten that dreadfully embarrassing episode. Dreadfully embarrassing means which makes you feel a little awkward, embarrassed. Yes, you feel shy. So dreadfully means something which cannot be forgotten. It was that bad. And it was embarrassing also. What was the episode? That her friends had dropped in for tea one evening. Whose friends? Her friends means mother's friend. Harsh mother's friend dropped in evening unannounced. Friends have not told before. So mother did not had anything. So mother just asked Harsh to get some sugar because sugar jar was empty. So she asked Harsh, just go and get sugar for me. Forgetting her son's distracted way, she hurriedly sent him off to the corner shop for some sugar. And that was the last they saw of him for almost 2 hours. That was the last means when she sent, that was the last time she saw, and for next 2 hours this boy didn't return back. The tea had gone cold and the snacks had been eaten till the time that he has not returned till that time. So what Harsh moms did, she called up the store to which she sent, and what she found, she found that Harsh has not even reached store. Now storekeeper was the one who knew Harsh quite well, and he was kind person. So he just stepped out of the shop, and what he found, that Harsh was busy cheering a game of gully cricket. There were some children who were playing cricket, and Harsh was busy cheering them up. So he had not reached the shop. And imagine that shop was just a few feet away. His art teacher complained that Harsh got so distracted with sharpening his and everybody's else color pencils that he forgot to draw any pictures with those perfectly sharpened points. Harsh did not even remember that he has to draw any pictures. He used to sharpen his and everybody's else pencils, but used to forget the drawing to be done by those pencils. Poor Mrs. Rao could only smile weakly. Why weakly? Because that smile was not from heart, right? Whenever she received the last report of her son's distraction. As you can well imagine, Hirsch wasn't immune to distraction bug on the play field also. Children usually love to play, but even in the play field, he used to get distracted. What happened because of this distraction, though he was a good bowler, but people remember one match where he got distracted. And what happened? Let's see. Because of this, because of his distraction problem, he was thrown out of the cricket team. For some memorable distraction induced disasters. Distraction induced means which are started by distraction, induced because of, okay, because of distraction some disaster happened. What happened? There was a match. The whole school still remembered the cricket match, which with their arch rivals. Yes, the main opponents. Arch rivals means main opponents. And who was their rivals? Vishweshwar High School. What happened? Though down to their last batsman, the rivals had just had a couple of runs to win when a beautiful easy catch came Harsh's way. Yes, the opponent team was about to win, but by mistake there was a possibility to take catch, and that catch was being taken by Harsh. But because Harsh got distracted, let's see what happened. Almost in slow motion, the entire school watched that the ball traveled in a gentle arc. Arc means curved line towards Harsh, and this was the easiest catch. That easy was the catch that we can even say it was the easiest catch in the world. But look what Harsh was doing. Harsh was in another world. So what happened? What happened? Schoolmates watched in horror that he just lost the catch. Let's see what happened. Hold on, beta. But Harsh was in another world. His schoolmates watched in horror as Harsh sat crouched, peering at something terribly engrossing on ground. So what was happening? He was looking something there on the ground instead of catching the ball. The crowd let out a low moan. Moan, you know? Now you know. The cry of pain. Yes, as the ball fell unnoticed, and just imagine the ball was just a foot away from the blissfully obvious Harsh. Blissfully obvious means not aware at all of the ball being landed near to him, because he was in another world. So what happened? He was just thrown out of the cricket team because of that performance. Later, he confessed only to his close friend. What happened? He confessed to his confessed means what? When you tell the truth. He confessed that he had gotten completely engrossed. Engrossed means totally absorbed. Yes, with an army of ants. This is a collective noun, army of ants, that were dragging a huge leaf across the ground. So instead of catching the ball, what was he busy with? Watching ants taking away a huge leaf across the ground. And this, whom he did told to? He told to his closest friend. Naturally, his friend had just sighed and made Harsh swear. Friend, what did friend say? Friend, of course, sighed means he took a deep breath. Oh my God, what you did. But then he asked Harsh to take a swear. to make a promise to himself that he will never mention this ant story to anybody else, because his friend was a very close friend. So obviously close friends never want bad for you, they always want good for you. So he wanted this story not to be told to anybody, else he will be beaten up for this. Which is why his parents decided that a solitary sport, solitary means solitary means unitary, individually. Solitary sports mean which is played by you, by a one player. There is no team. Okay, individuals. The sports, you can say the sport is being played individually. Like tennis would be better for this distracted son. So what parents thought, instead of allowing him to play with a team, let him play an individual sports like tennis. At least that way his teammates would not have to pay the price for his distraction. So in case he distracts, at least teammates will not be penalized for that. And that's how he began tennis classes at local club. So parents started sending him to tennis classes. Harsh fell in love with the game. In 6 months, he had become so good at it that he was playing with the older boys and beating them. What happened? He became so good within 6 months. He was playing with the older boys, older senior boys, and even he started beating them, means defeating them. Okay, in that game, in tennis game, he started defeating even the older boys. Without realizing it, his parents had selected a game that had no scope for distraction. Without realizing, without even thinking, without understanding the fact that the parents had selected a game for him where there will be no distraction. Like, they were not pretty aware, they just thought, let him go to some game which he will play all alone. But they did not know what they were doing for him. In football or hockey, the ball would have traveled off to the other end of the field. If we talk about better football and hockey, they are played in a big ground. So of course the ball will travel from here and there. Yes, from one end to the another end. And meanwhile, when the ball is moving from one place to another, this boy Harsh, gets the chance to start dreaming. Yes, about what his mother has made for dinner. And even worse is that he start inspecting some insects on the ground. So what mom and dad thought of him, that let us not make him play the match which is being played on the ground. Yes, something which is focused. With tennis, yes, with tennis, the ball just kept returning so quickly. Yes, there was no chance for his mind to wander. Wander means to move here and there. His mind will not go here and there. He will stick to his game. And better still, the absolutely flat, well-rolled court didn't offer shelter to any form of insect life. Because how are the tennis courts? They are well-rolled and offer shelter. So there is no chance of insect to be there. Right? So he won't get any sort of distraction. Though Harsh was the shortest among those training under his coach, his first serve was spectacular. Spectacular means something which is good to see, observe. Okay? He fired the most number of aces and nobody could match his stylish backhand. Nobody means nobody out of all the players could do the backhand the way he used to do. His father got all excited as the club's annual tournament week approached. Father was excited, okay, because of the tournament week. But his mother knew better. Every week she expected a call from the coach complaining about her son's famous distraction. Because mother knew, my child will easily get distracted, and even from the tennis coach, I will be getting a call. But when the calls didn't come, she became more worried, because she was expecting calls from coach that your son is getting distracted, is not playing well. But when such calls didn't come up from tennis coach side, she became more worried. Was his coach also so distracted that he didn't know what Harsh was up to? Now, negative thoughts came to her mind. What she thought? Is it so that coach also gets distracted so that he doesn't know what Harsh is up to? That's why he's not making call to me. One evening, Harsh came home with a big bruise on his forehead. Bruise when you get hurt, beta. Yes, that is bruise. On his forehead there was a bruise. Happened during practice. Did it? His father asked worriedly. His father became very worried to see that bruise, and his father said, Did this bruise happen to you while you were doing practice? Harsh was vague. Vague means he was not clear and evasive. He was trying to avoid the truth. Okay, he was not clear and he was trying to just pretend as though nothing has happened. His parents exchanged looks over his head. His mother first thought was that he had been in a fight and didn't want to talk about it. Since her son was the youngest at the courts, she hoped he wasn't getting bullied because she was mother. So what she thought, might be he had got a fight with somebody. Now because my son is youngest of all the players in the tennis court, yes, he might be getting bullied. Bullied means when somebody is making fun of you. Yes, somebody is making fun of you. That is all bullied. Might be the older boys would be making fun of him. A couple of days later, she noticed a deep gash. Gash means a long or a deep cut. Yes, long or a deep cut is called gash on his knee, and gently suggested that if he wanted to skip tennis classes for a few days, he could. Because being a mother, she could not take it anymore. When she saw that deep wound on the knee, she said to her that why don't you skip some classes for some days? But he insisted on going the next day, and the next, and the next. Harsh was going every day. Yes, insisted means he forced mother that no, I will go and I will practice tennis. So children, I am leaving the other part of the story. Okay, we will till this place we will cover up today. Okay, from here onwards we will cover up in our next class. Thank you, children.